Buenas noches.
Te va a llevar la noche entera.
So, Josie, I wanted to start with you, since you were part of the original movie. Before the pitch contest, were there any talks about going back to Zootopia in any way, or was this the first attempt to make a continuation?
You know, we knew that the world of Zootopia is so rich that, the world, the characters, all these different diverse neighborhoods, that I knew that every nook and cranny of Zootopia had a character with a story that we knew we wanted to tell. However, with the original, we wanted to focus on, the relationship between Judy and Nick, and also Judy's journey. But that's where, Trent, with this great idea of coming up with focusing on those secondary characters, really was like, oh, what a joy that we get to see these other characters and experience this rich world again. I thought that was just so brilliant and fun, and I couldn't wait to dive back in. So I thank you, Trent, for pitching it.
Oh, thank you, Josie, for making that world on the first film.
So, Trent, since you had the idea for the pitch, you wanted to explore different genres in each episode, but I wanted to know if you were at any point playing with the idea of maybe going a little bit meta and making like versions of real Disney shows, movies, or series, or if the stories or the genres came with the characters.
Jesus, that's a really good question, actually, because they are tied together. In that original pitch that I came up with, I actually had the titles of the episode, the genre, and the characters, because they're all linked together. Because there's just something about all of them. Like, Mr. Big and the Godfather episode is obvious. You want to see that origin story, and you want to see that immigration story and that Godfather 2 kind of parody. But all the characters, Stu and Bonnie, who you met, they, who wouldn't want to see them in an action short? And the train was a perfect avenue to go down, right? Because we see Judy leave on the train. So it really, those concepts came early on in the pitch. And then very quickly, I got paired with Josie, who was such a big part of the first movie, and just infused these shorts with that originality and the humor and everything. So we just had a blast. We had a starting point with my pitch, and then Josie, Nathan, and then the whole crew at Disney really built on that and took it to the next level. Far better than I could ever imagine when I pitched these over a year and a half ago.
So I was before at the press conference, and you said that you had like 4 ideas that were scrapped in the end. So I'm really curious. Can you tell me anything about it? Were there really a horror movie with the sloths?
I can tell you, Jesus, that we explored a lot in the story room. We just try to make each other laugh, and we had everything from Flash skydiving to a horror movie to a nature documentary, and we were
cooking show. We had Flash in a cooking show.
yeah, it was amazing, and I think Yax was in there too, a naked cooking show. So, anyways, we just had a blast trying to make each other laugh. So there were lots of ideas that ended up on the cutting room floor, and I think the kind of the best ideas that made us all laugh rose to the top for sure.
Absolutely.
I wanted a second season, but now I really am pushing for that to happen. So, Nathan, I wanted to know what was the most challenging of the episodes, and which one was maybe the funniest to work on.
Good
Yes,
question.
I do think, going a little bit back to our favorite character, Flash. I think Flash, as a character, we love him, and we want to embrace everything he does. But he is a little slow, and that's by design, right? So I think creating a short with a very slow character, I think as a crew, we're just struggled to try to figure out how do we make sure this is not only entertaining, but also stays within the time frame of a short, which is where we came up with the idea of Sam, the otter, voiced by Charlotte McDowell. So I think that was probably one of the more challenging ones. I think Duke was probably one of the most inventive ones that we had. Collaboration with a capital C so many people with, Kate, Alyssa, Michael as the songwriters, working with Trent and Josie and our story team, figuring out like what is in Duke's head. It's kind of crazy. And it's really fun to see what he thinks his world is compared to how other people view him. So I think those are off the top of my head the top two. I think.
Nathan, and I'm going to embarrass Nathan here for a second, Jesus. Nathan Curtis is a wonderful composer. He's a great musician himself. So not only a musical is challenging in this time frame and being short, so the short series, but Nathan made sure we got to have a full orchestra. We have to have the right stuff. So Nathan, he knows his stuff, and he really pushed hard to make sure we could have a true Disney musical, because we're not Disney if we don't do musical.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's true. And Chef's Kiss with that episode, the song is marvelous. I can't wait for it to be on Apple Music. So
Thank you.
so if there were going to be a continuation of the world, do you feel it's better now that you've explored this type of ramifications, let's just say a season 2 or maybe a sequel, and where you can go big and maybe with budget and story and animation?
I'll throw out there that I'm just such a fan of the world and the characters. I would always love to see more, and there's so many. What I love about the original movie is the themes it touched on. Definitely talking about topics like discrimination and prejudice. Our series focused more on the secondary mammals and the lives they lived. And Josie always calls it the New York. It's like New York City. You can knock on someone's door and you meet a different, interesting character. So I as a fan of Zootopia, I'd love to see more.
I know. I feel like the world is clamoring for more, because it's so rich in all these, different environments and neighborhoods, that even, the Disney parks in Shanghai is building a world, which is so exciting. So, I mean, let's cross our fingers that there's room for more in the Zootopia universe, right?
And let's all go there. Jesus, you can meet us there. We'll have a good time.
You pay because I'm a journalist. I will.
Talk to Nathan.
So I have maybe a techie question, because animation in the episodes, it's an upgrade from the movie. So I wanted to know if you got to use the things from the movie, or if you had to animate everything from scratch. And
Great
if you
question.
Yeah.
That is a great question. Yeah, I can jump in there really quick, and because I want to hear Josie talk about animation. But from a rigging and modeling point of view, there is some work, because that was almost 6 years ago that Zootopia happened. So we had amazing work from our TDs, our rigging, our modeling, our characters, our texture teams to convert these rigs back up to our new systems, because we do evolve as a studio and we upgrade everything. So we had to kind of pull these characters back and make them look as they did. And then a lot of the original people that worked on the first Zootopia worked on our project too. And animation, Josie, it was just fun to watch them revisit, wasn't it?
Absolutely. And even just technology wise, Trent, we used software called Presto, right? That I had no idea the challenges. I remember being so confused when they were pitching it to me. But it was brilliant. So that's our Flash episode was animated in Presto and in Maya. But Trent, please speak more to it, because it's it's understand.
Yeah, we're in a transition to the tool, so we got to use Zootopia Plus as a testing ground for that tool, and it went over great. Funny enough, it's meant to speed up animation, but we animated the slowest characters. Slowest characters with the fastest tool. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but Nathan, I mean, I'd love to hear what you thought about that too.
Yeah, I think it was a great opportunity for the studio. We're fortunate to work in a studio, so this wasn't just about the series. It's about using the artists who did work on the original Zootopia, but also Raya and the Last Dragon, also Wreck-It Ralph 2, also Encanto, also so many other films. So we're able to kind of leverage not only the artists, but there's a lot of Easter eggs you'll see. If you watch closely, we are able to kind of borrow from other projects and other Zootopia type worlds in which we can then have more exciting fun from an animation perspective.
Oh, I can't wait to see it again and catch those Easter eggs. So thank you so much for this wonderful interview, and Zootopia Plus Season 2, please and thank you.
Thank you, Jesus.
Nice to meet you. Bye.
Bye.
Aceptad vuestro cuerpo y sentíos libres.
Le he visto a una oveja el único sitio donde no tiene lana.